What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're gonna be talking about 5 blockbuster trades that should happen before the NBA trade deadline. But before we jump into that, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm trying to get to 2K by the end of February, grind to 2K before the end of February, so please hit that subscribe button and also leave a like if you enjoy this one. Let's go ahead and dive right into this one. Alright, so for this first one, I just learned recently, right before I started recording, that this trade was absolutely pointless. It's not gonna happen. So I didn't take it out. So we're just going to be doing a what-if scenario on this one because Mike Conley is having season-ending knee surgery. So obviously there's no point of any team trading for him right now. But I had a trade set up that Mike Conley, Brandon Wright, Mario Chalmers to the Pistons for Reggie Jackson, John Lure, and Stanley Johnson. The Grizzlies start the rebuild process. The Pistons, they can get Mike Conley, kind of help them contend a little bit more. And then Reggie Jackson could probably use a new change of scenery. Reggie Jackson experiment in Detroit hasn't worked out too well. And honestly, I think this trade could be good for both sides. The Grizzlies get Stanley Johnson. They get Reggie Jackson. And I also have a trade set up later in the video for the Grizzlies to even more start the rebuild process. But like I said, this trade is kind of pointless now because Mike Conley is having season-ending knee surgery. So obviously this trade isn't going to happen. But tell me what you guys think about this first trade. Do you guys like this trade for both teams, and do you think that it would help either team contend? I think Mike Conley on the Pistons would help out a lot for the Pistons, and I think the Grizzlies could start the rebuild process by getting rid of Mike Conley's contract, hopefully get rid of Chandler Parsons, and then Marc Gasol's contract as well, because Marc Gasol deserves another team. Now this one is actually a 3-team deal. It's a 3-team deal, and I think it works out for all 3 sides. Keep in mind, bear with me right now. The Chicago Bulls get Julius Randle and Alec Burks. The Jazz get Jordan Clarkson and Nikola Mirotic. And the Lakers get Derek Favors and a first-rounder. Why the Lakers do it? They dump Clarkson's contract. They get rid of Julius Randle so they don't have to pay him. They get more minutes for Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram. And they get a first-rounder. And Derek Favors is on a 1-year deal. Gives them the salary to go sign LeBron and Paul George like they want. The Jazz, they just get a little bit better by getting Jordan Clarkson and Nikola Mirotic. Mirotic has been rumored to go to the Jazz for quite a while. And Jordan Clarkson wouldn't be a bad piece over there for Utah to come off the bench. And maybe they could even trade Rodney Hood as well or put Rodney Hood at the 3. And the Jazz could put Clarkson at point guard alongside with Donovan Mitchell, whatever they want to do. And the Bulls get Julius Randle, Alec Burks, 2 young, nice pieces that the Chicago Bulls can continue to rebuild with. I think this is a good team for all 3 teams involved, or a good trade for all 3 teams involved. I don't see why any team would say no to this. I think it works out for all 3 teams, and I could see it happening. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's going to happen. And a lot of these trades are trades I just made up. I will admit I had one off the internet, and that's it. But I made the rest of the 4 trades up, and we'll go ahead and see what the next one is. DeAndre Jordan to the Milwaukee Bucks. Alright, keep in mind, DeAndre Jordan, 2nd rounder, Bryce Johnson, Sindarius Thornwell to the Bucks for John Henson, Thon Maker, DJ Wilson, and Matthew Dellavedova. That is a huge trade. If I have to repeat it again, I don't mind because that is like 8 players involved. DeAndre Jordan, 2nd rounder, Bryce Johnson, Sindarius Thornwell to the Bucks for John Henson, Thon Maker, DJ Wilson, and Matthew Dellavedova. Why the Milwaukee Bucks do it? Obviously, they're trying to contend right now in the East. They have the team to contend, but they're not performing well right now. They just fired Jason Kidd recently. If they brought DeAndre Jordan into the mix, and then maybe Jabari Parker comes back healthy, I debated putting Jabari Parker in this trade, but I don't see why the Clippers would want Jabari Parker right now because they already have Blake Griffin, so I decided to keep him out of it. But they get John Henson. Why the Clippers do it is because they get John Henson, nice young center. Thon Maker, a nice young center, still has some potential. A lot of people are calling him trash already, but I think he still has some potential. DJ Wilson was just recently drafted this last year, could have some potential as well. And Matthew Dellavedova is a nice defensive player, nice backup point guard that could back up Austin Rivers or or Milos Teodosic, what other guards they have over there in Los Angeles that aren't hurt anymore. I mean, they have Lou Williams, obviously having an amazing year, but I think that trade would work out for both sides, and DeAndre Jordan to the Milwaukee Bucks could be really interesting over there in the Eastern Conference. Will it happen? We'll have to wait and see. But next we got Kemba Walker, who's been in some trade rumors. Michael Jordan has already come out and said that he wouldn't trade Kemba Walker unless if it was for an all-star. But I'm not sure you're going to be able to get an all-star for Kemba Walker. Maybe you will, but I'm not sure. But I have Kemba Walker and Johnny O'Bryant to the Nuggets for Jamal Murray, Kenneth Faried, and a first-round pick. Why the Charlotte Hornets do it? Obviously, the Charlotte Hornets right now have a decent team. A lot of people are getting paid good money because this team is supposed to be contending right now, or supposed to be in the playoff picture. They're just not doing it, and it's just not looking well. So the Hornets could start the rebuild process by trading Kemba Walker, and then they get Jamal Murray, which is a great piece to start with. Kenneth Faried's not bad either, and a future first round pick, whatever first rounder they want. That's 3 good rebuilding pieces to start with. Obviously, the Hornets have a lot of contracts to trade away, and I'm not sure how they're going to execute it. They got Dwight Howard's contract, they got Cody Zeller's contract, they got Marvin Williams' contract, Batum's contract. They just have a ton of contracts. But for the future, Jamal Murray and Malik Monk backcourt, I think that would be pretty nice. Kenneth Faried down low. They could decide to keep Dwight Howard if they want, but honestly, man, the Hornets are just in a bad place right now, especially if they're really trying to trade Kemba Walker away. This team looks like they should be in the playoff picture right now. It's just not working out, and they just have a ton of money owed to a bunch of different players. So I think they really messed up with that one. But last and certainly not least, Marc Gasol to the Toronto Raptors. But Marc Gasol and Jerome Martin to the Raptors for Jonas Valanciunas, CJ Miles, and a first rounder. So why the Memphis Grizzlies do it is because they just Marc Gasol, they're kind of wasting Marc Gasol's towards the end of his career. Grizzlies aren't going to be contending or anything for quite a while, I feel like. And Jerome Martin as well is going to be placing that trade. But why the Grizzlies do it is because they get Jonas Valanciunas, which he's still pretty young, and then they get a first rounder, and CJ Miles is not a bad piece. They still have Tyreek Evans and Chandler Parsons over there, and if they kept Mike Conley, not a bad team. Why the Raptors do it? It's pretty much win now or never mode for the Toronto Raptors. Honestly, they've had Kyle Lowry, they've had DeMar DeRozan quite a while. They haven't really done much besides go to the Eastern Conference Finals, which is a lot, so I can't say they haven't done much, but they're really in win now mode. And if the Raptors can pull off a trade of getting Marc Gasol to play alongside DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, you never know. That could be the hump you need to get over either the Celtics or the Cavs. We'll just have to wait and see what the Raptors decide to do, though. I think the Raptors could be huge buyers at the trade deadline. But like I said, those are 5 blockbuster trades I could see happening at the NBA trade deadline, other than at Mike Conley one, because it's impossible to happen anymore. That's it for me, guys. Smash that like button if you did enjoy, and of course hit that subscribe button like I said at the beginning of the video. That's it for me. This is Crushables, and I'm saying peace.